Early in my term, I announced a major plan to provide millions of working families with debt relief for their college student debt. Tens of millions of people in debt were literally about to be canceled, their debts. But my MAGA Republican friends in the Congress, elected officials, and special interests stepped in and sued us. And the Supreme Court blocked it. But that didn't stop me.
Ignore the Supreme Court. Ignore the Congress. I'm the dictator here. I'll dictate who gets their loans paid off. And don't forget to vote for me, because I'm giving you a lot of cash. Well, welcome back. President Trump at our southern border yesterday. He's on our side. Joe Biden went to our southern border yesterday. He is not on our side. The headline on the front page of the Washington Times. Biden, Trump trade blame at border. Joe Biden is very comfortable lying all the time. He lies a lot. You know, he lied the other day. Today is Friday. The other day, he lied to some Muslims. He lied that there would be a peace deal in the Middle East by this weekend. He lied because he was pandering to the Muslim vote in Michigan for the primary there, where there are a lot of Muslims who are pro-Hamas and would kill all the Jews. And the Democrats are pandering to that vote. It's very important. The jihad vote, the genocide vote, is very important to the Democrat Party. Joe Biden lied that, we'll have a peace deal. There's going to be peace in the Middle East. There's going to be a ceasefire. It's going to be wonderful. President Trump, of course, got 3 peace deals in the Middle East during his 4 years and was on the glide slope to another peace deal between Israel and Saudi Arabia, which is incomprehensible, but he was getting it done anyway through his son, Jared Kushner, who was doing the mechanics and the heavy lifting, quite honestly. Jared Kushner getting peace deals done in the Middle East. Donald Trump getting peace deals done in the Middle East. Joe Biden getting war in the Middle East. And he lied the other day shamelessly and fraudulently, criminally. He lied the other day that while pandering to the pro-jihad genocide vote, the anti-Israel genocide vote, that, we're going to have a ceasefire in the Middle East, hoping that he'd get Muslim votes, but still more than 100,000 Michiganders voted present. They voted for none of the above. They voted uncommitted, technically, because one of the radical Democrats in the House of Representatives who's pro-jihad and a genocidal racist told the pro-jihad Muslims in Michigan to vote uncommitted. And more than 100,000 did, because the Democrat Party is in shambles, and they're trying to make sure that our country is in shambles just like they are. Their families are in shambles. Their personally and psychological shambles. Their gender awareness shambles. Their drug addiction. Oh, speaking of which, you got a Hunter Biden update today too. So we got that. But let me get to some of the audio that I have, because the madness of it all, I tell you. The Washington Post front page today is another one of these anti-Israel, pro-Hamas headlines. Chaotic aid delivery in Gaza turns deadly because some Palestinians ran a bunch of people over, of their own people, and murdered them all with buses and things because there was aid to be stolen, and they're happy to kill their own family and their neighbors to do it. Not all cultures are created equal. And there's, that's perfectly normal in that region of the world. And maybe I'll get into that, and maybe I won't, because that's just normal. That's, what do we call that in the news business? Dog bites man. That's an everyday occurrence, okay? Palestinians run over and kill a whole bunch of their own people while trying to steal aid that we're giving to them, because Joe Biden is not on the side of Western civilization, and he's not on our side. Amazing stuff. President Trump was at the border. And he was at Eagle Pass, where there are thousands and thousands of illegals crossing just in the last few days. Joe Biden went to a completely different place along the border where 46 illegals had attempted to cross over the same period of time, five days. President Trump was at the border, and he was concertina wire because Governor Abbott is doing the job that Joe Biden and the Democrats refused to do, and that is protect the sovereignty of the United States of America. a nation without borders is not a nation, it's a landmass. And we were just talking in the last hour, and very good stuff. Matthew calling from South Carolina and said, listen, Republicans on Capitol Hill ought to be passing a bill that would punish Venezuela for emptying their prisons. And he said, Matthew, wisely, correctly, smartly, that the Republicans should write up a bill and force a vote on the bill so the Democrats could all vote against civilization in the United States, which they would surely do. Have a bill that announces that we will punish Venezuela for emptying their prisons and sending all of their criminals to the United States, and that any other country that does the same would be punished brutally by the United States of America economically and culturally and politically. You're emptying your prisons. And we were talking about it here during the break after talking to Matthew. And honestly, if we had an attorney general, but we don't, we have a criminal as an attorney general who is not on our side, the attorney general of the United States should indict Nicolas Maduro as an accessory to murder. The moment we find all these Venezuelans that have been released from the prisons there, they're committing sexual assaults against minor girls. They're committing drug offenses, robberies, assaults, and murder. And Nicolas Maduro should be charged by our Justice Department as an accessory to all of those crimes for emptying his prisons, sending them to the United States, and refusing to accept people that we deport back to Venezuela. Nicolas Maduro is a criminal, and he should be indicted by the Justice Department in the United States of America. But unfortunately, our Attorney General is not on our side because he's an Obamaite. He's a Bidenite, and Obama is not on our side. He was mentored, raised by a communist, Frank Marshall Davis, and then he made a communist voter, John Brennan, literally a communist voter, John Brennan, the CIA director. And then that CIA director turned the power of the CIA against the American people and corrupted our 2020 election by running an information operation against the American people having to do with the reporting, the award-winning reporting, should-be award-winning reporting of the New York Post about the Hunter Biden laptop. He's a criminal, too. I only say that because he's committed crimes against the United States of America. But Matthew brought it up out of Johns Island, South Carolina. The Republicans on Capitol Hill need to write up a bill punishing Venezuela for dumping their prisons on us, all of the prisoners from their prisons on us. And our Justice Department, the Republicans on the Hill, ought to demand that the Justice Department indict Nicolas Maduro as an accessory to every crime committed by these criminals freed from the Venezuelan prisons. How hard is that? Seems pretty straightforward. Everyone agrees. How can you not agree? Only a maroon would not agree. Simple genius from Matthew in Johns Island, South Carolina. And I'm appreciative of that. Then I added indict Nicolas Maduro as an accessory to all these crimes because he is an accessory to all these crimes. Now, again, President Trump, as a little digression from President Trump being at the border, but dueling visits recognize voter priority of political issue in White House race. This is now the illegal alien crime wave that Joe Biden inflicted on us deliberately. And, Joe Biden should probably be facing legal issues too. Republicans should think about that. Maybe state attorneys general in border states should be indicting Joe Biden as an accessory as well to many of these crimes. Now, let me get to some of the audio that we have here. There's big stuff going on. And again, this is the biggest issue for voters, Republicans, independents, and even some, lame-brained, pro-crime, anti-American Democrats are starting to wise up around the country and say, hey, wait a minute, maybe young girls being murdered by illegal aliens isn't the best thing for the country. But most of them are just fine with it because, crime is their bag, baby. That is their thing. So let me get to some of this. Jeff Wolf in today for Michael Piercy. Michael Piercy out with family issues. Let's go to soundbite number one, because this is fun. This is President Trump. President Trump has updated his, he likes to give people nicknames, and Crooked Hillary and lots of fun nicknames that President Trump sticks people with, and he's very good at it, and they work very well. Well, he has a new one. He's got a new nickname. So let's go to soundbite number one. President Trump on one of his favorite nicknames, one of his most popular nicknames, and it's getting an update.
This is going to be a major announcement. Are you ready? Is everybody ready?
I'm ready.
I will be retiring the name Crooked from Hillary Clinton and her moniker.
What?
And I'm going to give her a new name. I don't know, like maybe Lovely Hillary or Beautiful Hillary. But I'm going to retire the name Crooked so that we can use the name for Joe Biden, because he'll be known from now on as Crooked Joe Biden.
Crooked Joe Biden. I love it. That's great. I think because he's looking at the impeachment inquiry. Now, the news media is lying, almost all of them, about the Hunter Biden transcript that was released yesterday. It's full of incriminating information, and Joe Biden, that's it. Joe Biden's going to the penitentiary. God, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but this is the rhetoric that the left uses all the time. They call everybody communists and things. And they're the communists. It's the old projection thing that the left engages in. The Russian playbook, they accuse you of doing exactly what they're doing. Isn't that amazing? Now, let's go to soundbite number three. Soundbite number three. Donald Trump yesterday at the border talking about Laken Riley, the 22-year-old nursing student who was murdered on the campus of the University of Georgia, and her life snuffed out, her future stolen from her by an illegal alien from Venezuela, part of the Venezuelan crime wave. And Joe Biden facilitated this crime wave because Joe Biden is not on our side. President Trump yesterday.
What he is doing is just unbelievable. Joe Biden will never say Laken Riley's name, but we will say it and we will remember it. We're not going to forget her.
And then the music came up, and it was unexpected. President Trump also said that he has called the family of Laken Riley, and her funeral is today at 2 p.m. Eastern. You may recall that NBC News did away with their daytime programming and had their chief anchor, Lester Holt, anchor the funeral of George Floyd, who died of heart failure while resisting arrest because of all the fentanyl and methamphetamine in his system. And he's George Floyd. The Democrats burned our cities and police stations, injured thousands of police, murdered dozens of people, billions in property damage because they love George Floyd so much. But they could care less about Laken Riley. Just amazing stuff. Man. Now, President Trump talking about Laken Riley. Let's go to soundbite number 4. Because Joe Biden was asked, I assume by a local Texas reporter, hey, Biden, do you bear any responsibility for the murder of Laken Riley? And Joe Biden just blew it off completely.
Mr. President, do you bear any responsibility for Laken Riley's death?
You bear any responsibility for Laken Riley's death? And he just blew it off because he's very severely mentally impaired. It's possible he had no idea that the question had been asked. He needs to leave the presidency. Unfortunately, we've got Kamala as the backup quarterback here. Big, big trouble. But Joe Biden could care less about the murder of a 22-year-old girl. But George Floyd, career criminal, resisting arrest, beating police, and that police officer, Derek Chauvin, was sent to prison forever, and he was just stabbed nearly to death in prison by another Democrat. And Joe Biden hasn't talked about that either because the Democrat Party is a criminal operation. Sad but true. A lot more on President Trump at the border and more coming up. And communist Democrats in the House of Representatives going to communist Cuba to praise communism. Got that coming up too. Hey, this would be a good time to make sure that you always have delicious Omaha steaks on hand in your home with the all-new Omaha Steaks subscription program. You get to choose what foods you like, the steaks, the burgers, the desserts, the quantities you like, the frequency with which you'd like it delivered to your home. Enroll today at omahasteaks.com/plant and lock in an extra 10% off every subscription order because you hang with me. Plus, you get free Omaha Steak burgers on all recurring shipments. Listen to this, for life. And with every third shipment, they're going to send you a free gift valued at $19.99 or more. Come on, good thing we hang out together. Going on vacation, taking a long trip, skip a month, no problem, done. You want to change what you get every month? Fine, change it anytime. Pause the program, and you can cancel it anytime. Great stuff. With Omaha Steaks, every purchase is backed by their unconditional money-back guarantee. You just go to omahasteaks.com/plant. That's me, Plante. Don't forget that extra E. It's free, too. Lock in your price, plus get the extra 10% off every subscription order. And get those free burgers for life. Minimum purchase and restrictions may apply. All you have to do is visit omahasteaks.com/plant to enroll today. Yes, sir. Yeah, Joe Biden. Hey, do you bear any responsibility for the crime wave that you've inflicted on the American people? He blew it off. He could care less. Americans being murdered. Perfect 22-year-old college students. They're fine with that. Career criminal junkies resisting arrest. They'll burn down the country for that. That's your Democrat Party.
You're listening to The Chris Plante Show.
Do you remember it was a bumper sticker and a T-shirt and stuff, kind of a slogan, nuke the gay whales. Nuke the gay whales. Does anybody remember nuke the gay whales? It was kind of making fun of liberal stupidity catchphrase some time ago. Well, NBC News popped with a story yesterday afternoon. Humpback whales captured mating for the first time were engaged in gay sex. The humpback whales were engaged in gay sex. NBC News is excited to announce it's about gayness in nature. They're already making a movie. It's called Humpback Mountain. It's called Humpback Mountain. And it's not mountain. It's, MOUNTIN apostrophe, Humpback Mountain. And the climax of the film, they've got an orgasm. There's an orgasm. See, it's a Humpback Mountain. I'm serious. This is a real story. They say they have humpback whales engaging in gay sex, which proves that, all animals are gay too. They vote Democrat.
This is The Chris Plante Show.
That's right. NBC News very excited to announce gay humpback whale videos. They'll be available on Sea Mammal Pornhub later today. NBC News is going to post them there. Got that going for you. It's pretty sure that the humpbacks in question are Hillary Clinton fans. They had Hillary Clinton bumper stickers on them. Jeff, let's go to a telephone call. Let's go to, and we're going to get back. I've got more President Trump, and I've got communists in the, the Democrats were calling President Trump and Speaker of the House Mike Johnson communists just last week. They're literally calling him communist. Our news media is demented, mentally ill. And now we've got a couple of Democrats going to Castro's Cuba to suck up to them and to suck up to communism. But let's go to a phone call. Let us go to, and it's so great. Oh, I should mention also to Matthew, who called from Johns Island, South Carolina, that I've been communicating with the outside world, and your recommendation of a bill in Congress having to do with Venezuela emptying the prisons has been delivered to Capitol Hill, to at least one congressional office, Matthew. And so hopefully we'll see something in that. But, the Republicans aren't very good at politics. They enter politics, they exit politics, and usually in between, nothing happens. But we'll see. Maybe. And also, The Attorney General should be indicting Nicolas Maduro as an accessory to every crime that is committed by convicts that he let out of prison and sent to the United States. And Joe Biden maybe should be on the hook too, because he's very much involved in these crimes as well. And when asked about it yesterday, he blew off the question. And in the meantime, let's go to the telephones. Let's go to Kurt, calling from Gainesville, Virginia. Kurt, you're on the Chris Plante Show.
Hi, good afternoon, or well, good morning, Chris.
Good morning. Welcome.
Since you're on such a great roll today and the world is such a fun place, I thought I'd take this opportunity to invite you to come down to Key West, Florida, the Free State, and enjoy Conch Republic Independence Day this year from 18 to 29 April. You can maybe even get a seat on one of the boats where the Conch Republic Navy will have a battle of Key West, as it does every year, against the United States government.
Are you planning on being down there yourself, Kurt?
Every year. That's why we have a house there.
Is that right? You got a house in Key West, and you go down for the Conch Fest every year, and the Conch Navy has a battle with the United States of America, April 18th, April 29th. My best girl and I have been to Key West on vacation. We spent Christmas there one year, and it was a last-minute decision. We woke up like December 23rd or something, said, what do you want to do for Christmas? And we checked the weather, said, hey, the weather is perfect down in Key West. There's a nonstop flight from Reagan Airport into Key West, and boom, we were in Key West in no time at all. And just had a riot. It was beautiful. It's fun, great restaurants, and a ton of fun, and everybody's just there to have fun.
Well, please consider coming down for the festival this year, and maybe we'll see you there.
That is a great
some other freedom-loving Americans also.
That is a great invitation, and I appreciate that very much. Really, it's a beautiful place. It's America. You're right. It is the free state of Florida. It's all the way at the end of the Florida Keys. You want to fly there. The drive on the causeway from South Florida down to the bottom of the Keys to Key West is a lot of fun, too. It's a great drive, and it's a great place to be. Now, let me ask you, you spend a lot of time there. You own a house there, Kurt. Have you ever seen humpback whales having gay sex there?
No. No.
No, not even once?
A lot of other strange things in Key West, but not humpback whales having any kind of sex.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because this study in NBC News very excited to announce humpback whales photographed having sex and gay sex for the first time. See, this is they say the first that they've never seen humpback whales actually mating in the wild or any place else. But now it's Humpback Mountain all over the place.
I guess science at its best.
It is science at its best, yeah. Photographers captured 2 male humpback whales having sex. And what experts say, listen to this now, is the first time the species has been documented exhibiting sexual activity of any kind. Huh.
I think seek and you will find. So
right, that's exactly. Nose to the grindstone. Just keep at it, And since since there are humpback whales all over the place, I'm guessing scientists concluded that they were actually having sex and mating because they keep making new humpback whales. My best girl and I were in Antarctica last year, and there were humpback whales everywhere. Humpback whales coming under our zodiacs, and humpback whales are close enough to touch, and they were all over the place. They're nice, they're mellow whales, and now, according to NBC News, at least some of them are at least bisexual. So they're excited to announce that. And the orgasm. The orgasm, what? It's a scary thing, isn't it?
Marvelous.
Marvelous. Kurt, thank you very much. Thanks for the nice call and the invitation. And I'm going to bring it to my best girl. April 18th, the 29th, the Conch Fest, the Conch Republic Fest, and wonderful stuff. Great stuff. Fun, Kirk. All right, now let's get back, because we have more news not related to sea mammal gay sex. But NBC News, they know They know where the awards come from. And, because they give the awards to each other. And they're all the same person, really. The left, completely nuts. All right, let's go to, where are we now? Let's go to the good old audio of, we want to go to President Trump. Number five. President Trump at the border yesterday. He would secure the border. Now, there's this crazy thing. He was at the border. I started to say this earlier. Concertina wire between himself and the border, and he looked across the Great Divide, secured not by Joe Biden and the federal government, but by Governor Greg Abbott and the state of Texas, the Republic of Texas. And there were illegal aliens headed toward the border, and President Trump waved at them. And there's a great tweet that someone put out. Imagine being an illegal alien going to sneak into the United States, and you're feet from the border, and you look up and there's President Trump waving at you. That is pretty humorous stuff, I've got to say. Here is the president, the former president and future president of the United States at the border, and illegal aliens are headed toward him. And the post on Instagram, imagine being an illegal about to jump the border and you see Donald Trump waving at you from the American side of the border through the concertina wire. That is pretty funny stuff, I've got to say. Good day for the illegal alien. I think, hey, look, there's Trump. Now, if it were Biden, again, I think Biden should have gone to the Mexico side of the border for his border visit and given people green cards and your social security card. He should be handing out social security numbers for the illegal aliens. And if they have gang tattoos all over their necks and their faces, he should give them a gift basket and, the address of, maybe his own daughter. She's been living kind of a racy life, as I understand it, the drug addiction, the rehab, the sex addiction, the showering with dad at an inappropriate age, writing in her diary and, and then it became public and they arrested the people that, pretty crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Speaking of arresting people that are enemies of the state, I do keep digressing, but according to a post, Brianna Morello, this is crazy. Journalist Stephen Baker will be turning himself in to the FBI field office in Dallas today to be arrested because he has been covering January 6th, and he's been covering the coverage of January 6th, and in particular, he has been raising questions about the two alleged pipe bombs that were allegedly found outside of the alleged RNC headquarters and the alleged DNC headquarters in Washington, D.C. Pipe bomb outside RNC headquarters, pipe bomb outside DNC headquarters. And the FBI can't find the person, even though there's videotape of the guy. And he's talking on his cell phone, and they've got everybody's cell phone records from January 6th, and they're breaking down the doors of grandmothers in Alaska to drag them away in handcuffs. But they can't find the alleged pipe bomber from January 6th at DNC headquarters and RNC headquarters. But now the journalist, Steve Baker, who has been covering this for a long time and trying to get to the bottom of why there have been no arrests and were they real pipe bombs, he's been investigating. Now he's going to be arrested today by the FBI, according to these reports anyway, on this March 1st. That is a truly disturbing development if that is the case, if he is in fact arrested and charged with crimes today by the FBI and turning himself in to the Dallas field office, then we are really living in an un-American time in the United States of America. And the Democrats, that is to say the left, that is running our country into the ground, arresting journalists for raising questions about the pipe bombs that were a big story for a minute, and then, like so many other stories that the Democrats want to go away, they're going away. The story just goes away. Pretty extraordinary stuff. Now, this has been simmering for some time. The FBI has been in contact with Steve Baker, and Steve Baker, a journalist, has been in touch with the FBI. But now it looks like the FBI will be arresting Steve Baker today, investigative reporter with The Blaze. And this is very disturbing stuff. Very disturbing indeed. Now, there were reports a couple of days ago from Steve Baker himself on his X profile. Unlike the two previous threats my attorneys received from the FBI on November 21st and December 23rd, my self-surrender for alleged January 6 crimes is set for this Friday morning in Dallas, Texas. There is now a signed arrest warrant. Now, he was there as a journalist on January 6th, and he's been investigating the failures of the FBI, and now the FBI, it looks like, are going to charge him with crimes and arrest him today. Deutschland über alles. This is a time we have in the past played the Soviet national anthem. I noticed other shows have started playing the Soviet national anthem at moments like this, too. Poaching from the best radio show. It happens a lot. All right, now let's get back to President Trump and soundbite number 5. That just popped in front of me there. Thanks to my friend Jessie Jane Duff, who appears with me, a career Marine, now retired, who appears with me frequently on my Newsmax show at 10 p.m. Eastern. Let's go to President Trump at the border yesterday, talking about what's going on at our southern border and why we in America should be concerned.
Crooked Joe is the blood of countless innocent victims. It's so many stories to tell, so many horrible stories. 3 years ago, we had the most secure border in history.
3 years ago, and it's true. President Trump, what was it, his first full year in office, I think we had the lowest number of illegal alien encounters at the border in more than 40 years. Joe Biden's first year in office, we broke all records, the greatest number of illegal aliens crossing our border in the history of the country, or at least since the Mexican-American War or something. His second year in office, he broke the record that he set in the first year. His third year in office, 2023, again broke all records with illegal aliens crossing our border. And today, a 22-year-old woman is being buried by her family in Woodstock, Georgia, because she was murdered by an illegal alien who smashed her head into an unrecognizable shape. And Joe Biden waved them all in. And his illegal alien brother is still, who's been arrested repeatedly since he came in illegally, and he was deported once and he just walked back in because of Joe Biden. And his brother is a career criminal from Venezuela, too. Joe Biden was at the border at a place where they had the smallest number of illegal aliens crossing over the course of the last week. President Trump went to Eagle Pass, Texas, where we've had the largest number, at least in Texas. My brother Daniel, a news reporter, TV news reporter in San Diego, has been covering the flood of illegals coming into San Diego and the raw sewage that Mexico is dumping into San Diego by way of a pipe across our border, flooding out a just recently completed $30 million park in San Diego with millions and millions of gallons of raw sewage. And our news media is nowhere to be found because they're protecting Joe Biden and the Democrats. Joe Biden at the border yesterday.
The idea there's no such thing as climate change. I love that, man.
What?
I love some of my Neanderthal friends.
I'm sorry, you're talking about climate change at the border yesterday, and you're calling Republicans Neanderthals? Joe Biden must be jailed. Honestly, this guy is the worst president of any country ever. God, he's the worst. He's at the border. The weather. They're fleeing the weather. These are countries where I go on vacation with my best girl. We go to Ecuador on vacation. We go to Mexico, South Mexico on vacation. Been to Costa Rica, Panama on vacation. And I got to tell you, Republicans need to start matching the rhetoric that the Democrats are spilling out. The toxic bile that the Democrats have normalized in American political discourse, such as it is. Biden mocks Neanderthal friends over disbelief in climate change amid Texas wildfires. That's not why he was down there. There's a wildfire. It must be climate change. There's a mudslide in California. It must be climate change. It's going to be 65 degrees tomorrow in Washington. It must be climate change. There's an epidemic of mental illness, the likes of which this country has never seen before. And the Democrats are going to fix the climate. All they need is all your money.
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show.
Bum, 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 bum. We still have the Democrat communists in the House of Representatives to get to. They have jihadis, they have communists. They love communism because they love slavery. They love brutality. They believe that all power comes from the barrel of a gun. They're the left. They're not liberals. Pramila Jayapal, Ilhan Omar, and their excellent communist adventure. I've got that coming up. Did not amuse reasonable, rational Cuban-American members of Congress. And I will share that with you when we come back in a little bit. Right now, let's go back to the phones. Because I like going to the phones. It's Friday. We're talking to the nice people. Let's go to Ed, calling from Alexandria, Virginia. Eduardo, you're on the Chris Plant Show. Ed, no home. Where is Ed? 3?
I'm right here, Chris.
Hey, there you are.
Chris,
Ed.
we've had pipes together. You're my brother from a different mother. It's really funny. My wife, about 15 minutes ago, she's from Latvia, and that's an interesting topic in its own self.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, gotta love Putin. We were just talking, and things are crazy. But the whole point was that we spent over $5,000 for her citizenship, and she brought up, just off the top of her mind, she goes, I think we should go back and sue the government. Get the money back. She was tested for syphilis and other things. We did everything right, and we dropped about 6,000, close to it. So she's thinking, like, let's go sue somebody. I think it's a good idea.
Not a bad idea. My best girl and I, we've been to Latvia a couple of times, to Riga, Latvia a couple of times. A beautiful place, wonderful people. Yeah, and a refund for all the money you spent on U.S. citizenship. False advertising.